next part of my videos. Yeah, it happened on the 14th of April. I've recently got some ORMUS, and there's been a lot of other things that I'll probably explain in other videos about chi and energy and stuff like that. The Kudong tea. I had some Chinese herbs that tend to boost my energy level, so I think they're really good. And you can feel the energy fluctuate through your body, so you definitely know that, especially if you start doing qigong, and you can feel energy and so on. So I got some ORMUS, and I have the volatile gold. There's another part of an experiment I've done with frankincense as well, but that's another video. And yeah, basically started it coming Saturday, my ORMUS, and I took because I remember my parents a little bit like, well, they're very imperialistic in their viewpoints, and they only tend to stick to a pattern of their knowledge that they're aware of, and if it's not mainstream, tend to be sort of, really, shouldn't you just stick with this? Right. So it's a quite conservative viewpoint. But anyway, yeah. So I took a teaspoon, and then I upped it to. So that'd be on the 13th. I upped it to sort of like 4 hours, just have a tablespoon. So I had a tablespoon. And that night I had a dream. It was very bizarre. Basically, within this dream, I saw a sort of gothic woman, and she was standing there. She was like a doll. She was like frozen still. But I was comforted from behind. I don't know why I was like talking to her or something there. But then I felt something come up behind me. So she was kind of like the distraction for whatever it was, and I felt like I was connected to her consciously in some weird way. I don't know how, or whether she was, even human. But I also felt something was behind me, and this I mean, it probably is, but we could call this one a Dracni as well. But it basically it bit me. I felt like a nip on between my shoulders. I thought that's like something's biting me. I thought, well, if my mind keeps on being focused back to this woman, even if I was like, well, what's happening behind me? And then it started reverberating a noise that was like something an alligator would make, and when it's got those mating calls, and possibly sort of sort of growl type noises, and it wasn't unpleasant. It was a bit weird that I did try to actually in my dream look back and see what this this person was. But it's also part of this, if you understand how the holographic universe works, and you understand if I'm projecting an image into my mind, that image becomes real. Therefore, that is the image that I relate to. But yet, the actual what could be in front of me could be something completely different. So it had this like vibrational energy, and I could hear it very clearly, and it felt like this energy was going into my heart chakra, and so I didn't feel that it was aggression. It was something else. It was kind of positive energy, positive experience that come out of it. But it did nip me again. But it went up with the sound frequency went up. It was it went deeper, to be honest, lower frequency. And there's nothing really I can relate to that. I mean, it was like 2 weeks ago I saw someone, and she said she was like a channeler, and on TV, and she sort of channeled reptile entities and used them for healing and so on. And she'd made a noise on there, and it never made really much sense. And so it's kind of, I mean, that's 2 weeks ago. So there's no reason why my mind can construct that. The experience was very vivid. It was very real, and it felt like. I mean, even that night, I don't know if anyone's ever experienced where your hairs go on end. Basically, your hairs go up on end, but you also feel like a static electricity type feeling around you. It probably would be the nearest thing you could do is put your arm near a TV, and if you feel the static and it pulls your hairs up, that's what it is. And now I'm using that as an indication of that is something else is in my presence, or something else is touching my aura or affecting me. And I had that night, and So I lay down on the bed, and quite quickly, the room goes darker, and your focus changes. And then I was looking up, and I could see something light or something in the room. I sensed something in the room, and I was having this experience of I'm just looking at a bumblebee. Yeah, I had this experience, something else in the room. So I've asked in my mind, are you friendly or are you not? Probably the worst question you should ask in the world. But it appears to be that it didn't have an issue with me. But it was also lighter. When I was looking at the blob in the room, it wasn't like it was pure blackness. It had some light to it. So it probably was something positive, and it probably was about love as well. And I think that's probably there's a lesson there to be learned. Is that it's not about appearance. It's what's in the soul of the living, basically, or anything that could define it. So I had this experience where it made a sort of like, made a sort of very low sort of noise. So it made something like that, which is quite unusual. And why would you have that in a dream? So you got a low frequency sound. So I've had that. And I had that. It continued onwards, as I keep probably mentioning to you over and over again. And then I went to the next experience, which was well, basically I did the same thing back to her. So whatever frequency she put to me, I did a reverse from behind. I definitely think there was some scaly skin on her back, but I think there was also trying to stop me seeing that. I think basically, if you enter into a dream and you sense fear, or you sense a danger, you'll come out of it. You'll basically switch modes, and then your consciousness will go back to your body to try to protect it or do something about this situation. So I think that was a kind of a mind block. So someone's projecting one thing. It's like an illusionary tactic and diversionary. But the other thing as well, with things like with ORMUS and so on, is it corrects your DNA. And I'm wondering actually, it may have activated the side of the DNA or had some influence that's brought this identity in. And the other thing is what we know is that the human evolution, we got to a point where we developed at a conscious level, and every time the consciousness goes up a level, then the species goes up a level. But what happened here is that in the past that we got genetically changed completely. So in essence, that the Anunnaki have given us a part of their consciousness, but they might have added other creatures and other alien species in there. We just don't know what they've actually done to us. We'd have to find one and ask us, are we part you? Are we part ape man human? Or because human is like Newman. We're a new man. So what is our genetics? If you do all the research, you can figure that quickly out. Like we've got an extra muscle in our leg, our feet. I don't know if they're not hands, are they? We don't heal the same way as other creatures. We heal. This is where more like a species that would relate to a water type species. Is that our tissue, when it's damaged, doesn't heal in the same way. We've got less chromosomes. We've got ones fused, and there's a whole bunch of odd stuff that doesn't add it. Even our nose. I don't think. I mean, they show us a monkey with a type of nose, but that could, that doesn't look anything as advanced as our nose. And if you see any apes, they've actually just got a hole in their face. So we don't conform to that construct at all. This nose is alien. And the other thing was we can speak and they will never speak because they'll never be able to evolve the same. Well, okay, it sounds unkind. They have a way of communicating. They also communicate. Most animals can communicate at a more telepathic level as well. So they're more instinctive and other things as well. But they will never be able to talk English. You're never going to get Coco the gorilla having a conversation in English. You can never get doing sign language because her face is not designed like that. She cannot reverberate sound frequencies in the same way and doesn't operate in the same system. I mean, the most advanced sound frequency thing is probably the birds around you, actually, what they're saying. I'm still trying to figure out and decode them. They're quite confusing. So, so basically I woke up from this experience, and it was as real as anything, like someone was in the room, someone touched me. There is no way in my mind I'm going to say, well, actually, that's just a little bit of a lucid dream, or, it was a vivid one, let's put it that way. It was very vivid in vibration. And it was also to the heart chakra. It was quite interesting. And as I mentioned before, if you learn something new from an experience, that's something you can work on, something you can document. So the other thing, I'll probably mention it briefly in another part, is because I'm always cautious of how much time you put in a segment, just in case I can't have trouble uploading it. So we'll do another little one.